Hello, hello, hello. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be. Welcome back to my channel, my loverlies. If you've never been here before, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I do so hope that you will like and subscribe, become part of the mama family. You know you want to be here. Mama's got your back, at least where makeup's concerned anyway, and we usually have a pretty good time playing around with it. Today's video is all about what are the best eyeshadow palettes at Walmart. Now, if you're anything like me, and you live in the middle of nowhere, and Walmart is pretty much your only option, I've got your back. I've got your back. I know, I've been there. I know exactly what's good and what isn't. And because y'all, I've pretty much been through it all. So I have the top 5 palettes that I've ever gotten from Walmart. And I'm talking about in store. So this is not this is not online. It's nothing to do with online. So like you can literally walk into the store and you can get these palettes, and they are so good. So if something ever happens and you know you're traveling and your luggage gets lost and Walmart is your last option, at least now you know what to go in and what to grab and what's going to work for you. We're going to start. I don't really have like a starting place, so we'll just start with whatever is in front of me, and they're in no particular order. So the first one is going to be a like OG drugstore kind of brand. So this first one is the Maybelline Nudes of New York. Guys, it's an absolutely fantastic palette. If you're into nudes and into neutrals and they just like rock your world, this one is so fantastic. By far and away the best Maybelline palette I have ever used. It is so good. Beautifully pigmented. The packaging is nice. I mean, it's nice for a drugstore. It's still super cheap, thin plastic, but it feels nice. It's got a nice weight to it. The colors in here are absolutely beautiful. I feel like they would look good on just about everybody. The shimmers just, oh, so pretty. Let's do a better swatch than that, shall we? Look at that pigmentation. So gorgeous. That was the shade Fighter. The mattes in here are really beautiful as well. Super velvety, super pigmented. A really great option for the drugstore. I will say this palette is a little bit expensive. This is a $20 palette, and especially for Maybelline, that's insane. I know a lot of their smaller palettes are pretty expensive as well. I will say this is the only Maybelline palette I've ever tried that I truly felt like it was worth the price. It's a beautiful palette. If you put this in different packaging and told me it was like, I don't even know. If you told me it was somebody else, I would probably believe you. They're really nice. They blend super easily. Just a great all-around neutral palette. I like that there's also shades in here that I can use as brow powders as well. I like to use the shade Self Starter. This one right here as a brow powder. It's just got that little, it's got the undertone of like cool gray that works for my blonde hair. It's a little bit dark, but I can make it work. And if you have brown hair, I think that this would be a perfect brow powder for you. Again, in case your luggage gets lost and you lost your brow powder or your brow pomade in a pinch, this would definitely work for that. You've got a couple of beautiful highlighters in here as well. I think that this shade would be a really pretty highlighter in a pinch. It's just a really beautiful kind of like rosy champagne color. Super pretty. It's a really nice palette. There's a lot of options in here, and you get a nice amount of product as well. So that's number 1. Really great palette. The next one is the Milani Gilded Terra. I love this palette. Again, this is a $20 palette. Pretty expensive for the drugstore, but I find that Milani is pretty pricey anyway. And drugstore pricing is just, it's getting up there anyway. A lot of the palettes, $20 pretty soon is just going to be the norm for a drugstore palette, unfortunately, especially if you want to get one as nice as this one. So first of all, you've got really nice sturdy cardboard packaging. It looks beautiful on the outside. It's nice and glossy. You've got the raised kind of embossing on the front. Really beautiful. You open it up, and then not only that, but you get a mirror. So mirrors are few and far between in the drugstore world. I guess mirrors are expensive, and 9 times out of 10 you're going to get a palette and it's not going to have a mirror in it, and the mirror that it does have is really just not worth its weight. But this one is actually really nice. You get a nice clear reflection. You open it up. I love that it folds all the way in half. half. It's kind of like a real pro move. It just makes it easier to hold and easier to use, in my opinion. And then you've got this color story. You've got these really beautiful, bright, plummy berry tones. You've got pops of green. You've got a nice ratio of mattes to shimmers. This is just fantastic. If you're looking for a little pop of color at the drugstore, this one is by far and away probably my favorite option. If you're really looking for something that's a little bit higher end, if you're looking for good packaging and really good formulas, this one is really nice. I will say the shades in here are a little bit glittery, and I do experience just a little bit of glitter fallout. But again, it's not something that bothers me. I'll wear glitter all over my face and be a happy camper. This is a stunning, stunning palette. I like that you've got a lot of nice depth in here. You've got a super, super light shade and a super, super dark shade. There's not a black in here, but you have this really beautiful, deep, dark, kind of rich hunter green that really is just so beautiful. The formula is nice and smooth and velvety, almost buttery, not super creamy, but it is so, so pretty. There's this shade, Glamping, which I think is just absolutely stunning. That shimmer is just insanely high quality. Really, really beautiful. Those two colors together are a vibe. I love that. So yes, there's a lot you can do with this palette, and I really feel like you could take it from daytime to nighttime in a heartbeat. You've got some really beautiful, warm, kind of neutral tones in here. You've got pops of color. This is a beautiful, beautiful palette. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is this one. Now, I haven't heard a ton about this palette, but this is just great. Again, this is about a $20 palette. I think this was around $14 or $15 when I purchased it. This is the Carter Beauty Warm Velvet palette. Again, packaging isn't great. It's got cardboard packaging, which is nice. I like it better than the plastic. But then on the front, you've got this like really flimsy kind of, I don't know what that is. It's not great though. It gets scratched up really, really easy. I don't know if you can tell. It just makes it look super dirty. So packaging is not great, but I have dropped this a million times and it's never busted. So I do feel like the shadows in here are really well insulated. I do feel like this would be probably easy to travel with. I feel like this would be really easy to travel with as well. This maybe not so much, but these two for sure. They really insulate these shadows inside and really keep everything nice and safe. Now, as for the actual shades in this palette, oh, so, so pretty. If I can get it open sesame. Okay, so I don't like that you can't fold it all the way over. It just kind of is a pain in the butt for me. It just takes up too much space on whatever surface I'm using if I have to keep the palette open like that and can't fold it in half. So but the actual shades in here are stunning. Again, just by the name Warm Velvet, you've got the most beautiful, yummy, warm tones in here. This shade, Rioja? I don't know. It's a really beautiful kind of like burgundy plum color. Really, really beautiful. You've also got, and that's a matte. The mattes are really beautiful and super pigmented. This is the shade Truffle. Super, super pretty. Again, I would say that it's a nice palette, but even again, I think that the Maybelline palette is even a little bit better than this one, just for pigmentation's sake. Definitely swatching. These don't swatch the best, but they do go on the eye absolutely beautiful. So whereas the Maybelline does swatch a little bit better and appears to be a little bit more pigmented, I do find that these work just as well, maybe if not a little bit better, maybe a little bit easier to blend. Really, really beautiful formula. The shimmers in here are just, this is the shade Affluent, and just, oh, look at that beautiful, bright, just copper penny color. Oh, it does things to me. So, so gorgeous. The shimmers in here alone are like totally worth buying the palette for. Really, really beautiful. Again, the mattes, they don't swatch the best, but they do go on the eye really, really beautifully. I like the color story. I like how warm it is. I like the ratio of mattes to shimmers. You get, it's not all shimmers. Even in the New York palette, there's mostly shimmers. And even in the Milani palette, there's mostly shimmers. But in this one, you get mostly mattes and then a couple of shimmers, which I personally really, really enjoy. I like to build with mattes and then accentuate with shimmers. And this palette really, really lets me do that. And not only that, but it gives me tons of options. I could do a different look every day of the week and still not run out of options with this palette. I just think it's super, super versatile, really, really beautiful, and almost universally flattering. Really, really gorgeous palette. The next one I want to talk to you guys about is this bad boy. It blew my mind when I walked into Walmart and saw this on display. Oh my goodness, I had wanted this since I heard about it. I walked into my Walmart, again, a $20 palette, but worth every single penny. I had not a problem in the world paying that for this palette. This is the box of Crayons eyeshadow palette from the Crayon Case. Huge, gigantic, really, really high quality mirror. Guys, you can do your whole face with this mirror. Super, super easy. It's gigantic. It folds in half. It folds in half, so it's really, really easy to handle. Guys, it's an absolutely stunning, bright, bold, colorful rainbow palette. This shade right here is stunning. Really, really gorgeous. I love the shimmers in here, but the mattes are really where it's at. This blue shimmer is beautiful. Just look how, like, oh, they're so reflective, so shiny, and that's dry. Imagine using that on a wet brush. So, so gorgeous. I love, love, love that you get a black, and I thought for sure there was a white in here. Maybe not, but I do love that you get a matte black. It's just, it lets you deepen up any shade, and it really just kind of works. This silver shade in here is bomb. Such an absolutely beautiful, beautiful shimmer color. That silver is just, oh, it looks like melted metal. It's gorgeous. I love this palette. I love the packaging. I love just the presentation of it. It's just great. It's a really, really great palette. Definitely worth every single penny. I've used this a million times. Not only that, but the pan sizes in here are ginormous. You could probably use this palette every day for a year and still never hit pan. It's just fantastic. Love, 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 love. So the last ones I wanted to talk to you guys about are the Profusion 10 pan palettes. Now, I don't have a favorite in these because they're all pretty much fantastic. I'm actually wearing this one on my eyes today. I'm wearing all three of these colors along with my BH Cosmetics Lost in Los Angeles palette, but I am wearing all three of these shades right here. This is a fantastic, fantastic pastels palette. Pastels are very, like, this is the only pastel palette I have ever found at Walmart or in the drugstore. And I mean, they're just hard. They're hard to formulate. I think they're more expensive to formulate. I'm not sure why, but I have never found another pastel palette at the drugstore, and certainly not one that performs as well as this one does. It is absolutely fantastic. In my opinion, you really need to have a pastel palette in your repertoire or in your arsenal anyway, just because pastels make for really, really great blending colors. If you're ever working with a darker pigment that you're finding really, really difficult to kind of smooth and fade those edges, if you go in with a pastel, it is going to make your life so very much easier. I actually learned that from another YouTuber, but it has served me well ever since. If ever I find myself having any kind of trouble blending a darker eyeshadow, I always go in on top of it with a pastel shade, and it always ends up blending out and looking beautiful and buttery smooth in the end. Really, really great pastel palette. Really great to have in your arsenal, and it's only $5. It might be a little bit more than $5 now, but you get a really, really generous pan size. There's 10 shades in here. They're of great, great quality. Packaging is trash. I definitely would not travel with these because they're gonna break, they're gonna shatter, they're gonna go all over the place. But it is a great, great value and a great, great formula. Love these. So you have the pastels palette. You have the emeralds, which is a fantastic, and again, where are you going to find a beautiful, beautiful green palette like this at the drugstore? You're not. This is your only option, and it's fantastic. It's a fantastic option. I love this palette. I use this palette all the time. I love the ratio of mattes to shimmers. The shimmers in here are absolutely gorgeous, and not to mention, you get a freaking duochrome. So this shade Galaxy right here is indeed a duochrome. It's got kind of my camera's not going to pick it up, but it's got almost a gray to teal to forest green kind of shift to it. So, so beautiful. And the way that it looks on the eyes is just so multidimensional and so, so beautiful. Check my bat wings because I'm talking an awful lot, but it's stunning. It really is by far and away so, so worth the $5 that you're going to pay for it. This burst color, this absolutely stunning kind of gold olive green color is just, I've never seen anything like it at the drugstore. So, so gorgeous. You've also got the Euphoria palette. I love this. It's blue, it's purple, it's silver, it's It reminds me of like Fairy Midnight. This is an absolutely stunning, stunning palette. This purple shimmer in here is just beautiful. It's this like shimmering lilac color. You've got this white that is just so gorgeous and so beautifully reflective. The mattes in here are smoky, they're mysterious, they're everything that you want them to be and more. They're so, so great. You've also got the Meadow palette, which I think is just a really interesting color story. It's like rusts and like, it's so pretty. It reminds me of like a foggy morning and a brick house and like a meadow. It's just, it's like the earth and the sky on a foggy morning. It is so, so beautiful. I love this palette. This like dove gray kind of blue color is so beautiful. It just goes on the eyes like this beautiful kind of like smoky haze, and really just, it's so, so gorgeous. This shimmer right here is stunning. Really, really gorgeous. I love the kind of like rosy coppery kind of color of it. I can't rave enough about them. And then of course you get another duochrome in this palette. This one is green as well, but it's got like a rusty red shift to it. There's like that brown kind of rust color, and then it shifts to this more of like a green color. It's stunning. This palette is worth the $5 just for that shade alone. And then on top of that, you get this really beautiful camel color. And then you get these kind of like rusty brown reds. So by far and away, this is probably my favorite color story out of all of the Profusion palettes. I think it's so interesting and so beautiful, and just, it's so good. The last one I want to talk to you guys about is an everyday palette. This is the Profusion Mauves palette, guys. It's fantastic. This is just a perfect, stunning, extraordinary, everyday kind of eyeshadow palette. I could wear this every day and really be happy, and be happy. If I wasn't as big into like big, bold, beautiful makeup, colorful, looks, this would make me happy. This is actually one of the very first Profusion palettes I ever purchased, and I'll never get rid of it. It is so perfect. It is the perfect mauve palette. I love the tones in here. Again, I love the ratios of mattes to shimmers. You've got lots of nice mattes to really build on. It's very monochromatic, but the tones in here are just enough to give yourself a lot of nice like dimension and depth. It's just a really, really nice palette, and you can't go wrong with a good mauve eye. You do a good monochromatic look, do a mauve eye paired with a mauve lip, and do like a pretty like light mauvey blush, and you're good to go. You look high fashion, you look put together, but you don't look overdone, and this is perfect for that. The shimmers in here are really just spectacular. This one, Ooh La La, is one of my all-time favorites. I just love the tone of it. This is perfect either for a brow bone highlight or like to put all over the lid. It really is just so, so pretty. So guys, I have a short video for you today. That's all. I know my videos are usually like an hour and a half long, but today's one is just super sweet and short and simple. I just wanted to show you guys a couple of my absolute favorite drugstore, not even drugstore, Walmart palettes. If you're anything like me, and like I said, live in the middle of nowhere, and Walmart is pretty much your only option, guys, these are the best of the best of the best at Walmart. Again, I pretty much recommend any of the Profusion palettes. I pretty much recommend any of the Milani palettes. The Milani formula is solid across the board. When it comes to Maybelline, the only one that I have found that's really worth the price is the Nudes of New York. I really enjoy this palette. If you can find this Carter Beauty one, so good. They have this one, and then they have an apricot version as well. I owned that one too. I couldn't find it. I don't know where I put it, but it's fantastic. Ooh, so good. They also have the Cab Cosmetics palette, which is a really good one as well. This is it looks like this. Packaging is A+. Really beautiful packaging. I love the silver. I love the solid white. It's just pretty nice. It's got like holographic kind of lettering on it. Really, really great. This is the, again, this is the face palette, but the eye palette looks just like this. Not quite as big, but looks just like this. Guys, it's great. Super, super heavy. It feels luxurious. Again, it's got a good price tag on it. A little bit hefty for the drugstore, but again, I think it's so, so worth it. Beautiful, creamy, velvety, buttery shadows. This is the face palette. The face palette is really nice. I'm not a huge fan of the tones in here. I think that everything pulls just a little bit too red or a little bit too orange for my skin tone, but I feel like if you had a deeper skin tone, you would really, really enjoy this palette. Really beautiful. The powders are nice and soft. They're not drying. They don't emphasize any of my wrinkles, any of my fine lines. I do use this banana powder and this translucent powder quite often. And when I'm tan, I like to use Sunshine and Suntan mixed together. They're actually really nice. I also like caramel sometimes, again, when I'm tan. It just pulls a little bit. Let's see if I can swatch it somewhere that you can see it. It just pulls a little bit warm on me. It looks really nice there, but for some reason, when you blend it out, it looks just a little bit too red. But the powders are really nice. They go on, they blend really easily, and they're just like so good. I just wish that the tones were a little bit different. Guys, that's it for me today. I hope you guys enjoyed this eye look. I hope you enjoyed this video. Guys, I love you so, so much. As always, no filters, no edits, no fancy lighting. It's just me sitting in front of my camera, playing with some makeup, hoping you guys are enjoying what I'm doing. Guys, as always, I will list everything that I talked about in today's video in the description box below, along with the link to my Facebook page, Makeup for the Everyday Mama. You guys can see all kinds of good content over there. I do pictorials, I do lives, I do all kinds of good stuff. Every look I do, I post over there. So if you want to see more from me, go on over there and check it out. Yeah, I love you so, 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 so much. Until next time, stay safe, take care of yourselves, and remember, you're important. Don't forget to like and subscribe before you leave. You know you want to. Bye.